morning, David, and welcome to What's New with Mike and Jeff, your Saturday morning hobby hangout coming to you live via the interwebs. I'm your host, Mike, and with me is the man, the legend, the Gilliman, the monkey man, the ape, the gorilla, the wolf. We don't know all the different creatures he is, Jeff.
Wow. That's good to know.
Well, you got the Gilliman thing going.
I know. I have Lord Volcom.
You got the Chiperium thing. The chip.
This is my mistake shirt.
Your mistake shirt.
I normally get the one that has the Chiperium logo on the front and then the Primark on the back. I ordered this one by mistake, so I have two of King Volcom.
Yeah, but you're the wolf. Yet you're sporting chimps, so you're confusing me. Are you cross?
Hang on a minute. No.
Are you cross-speciesing yourself?
No, I'm supporting all animal kingdoms because as the Wolf Lord, I'm an equal opportunity animal activist.
Oh,
which you should appreciate.
I do. I never looked at it from that point of view. I just was always confused because you're a wolf.
My animal spirit is the wolf. However, I'm a kindred spirit to all animals.
I'm just kind of curious how wolves survive in the jungle.
I don't think do the wolves live in the jungle? I don't know.
They can't. So. They're an Arctic animal. They like the cold.
But there would be no Jungle Book without the wolves.
Well, speaking of Jungle Book, I finally watched the Jungle Book.
The live action?
Whatever the Rock movie is that considered a live action?
You mean Jungle Cruise?
Jungle Cruise, sorry.
Yeah.
Now I got all my jungles mixed up. I'm such a dork. I can't even keep my jungles straight.
See, in Jungle Book, this is what I always found funny. There's a wolf, a bear,
Nothing that lives in the Jungle Book.
I am not an anthropologist, so I don't know. There's another reason I like the gorilla shirts.
What's that?
The Chimperium shirts.
What?
I have always, my entire life, even before my back problems, been accused of walking like a gorilla.
You are a knuckle dragger.
I didn't go that far, but my daughters used to actually refer to me as the old silverback because I had a temper and I kind of had a gait like an ape. So
I can see that.
I'm not sure if it was complimentary or not. I don't think it was.
No, absolutely isn't.
I'll live with it.
It's okay. So, Raymond, good morning. Getting ready to work my last shift at this job before starting at Shamrock next week. Congratulations, Raymond.
That's awesome, buddy.
Super excited for you. And as everybody,
I didn't say hi to David earlier. Morning, David.
And as everybody might know, I got my new spectacles.
Yeah, no more of you doing this.
So I do need to take them back and get them adjusted. The springy thing, I need them to come in a little bit so they're tighter on my head. They
grab your nose, close your mouth, and blow, and make your head bigger.
My head's big enough. Thank you very much. So yes, they're good. These are supposed to be anti-glare lenses, but as you can tell, looking at Jeff's glasses and looking at my glasses, my glare is kind of a bluish tint, where yours is almost a mirror image of your. That's what we noticed this morning when we were setting up for the show.
Yeah.
So, anyways. But hey,
again, I can just stare at if I stare at the camera, my glare is not so bad. So
yeah, everything in my world is set up directly in front of me. Like my overhead camera's right here, and my webcam's right there, and my monitor's right there. I'm a straight line. You're kind of a free spirit, apparently, because you're a wolf protecting the gorillas or the chimps. So
it is what it is, man. It is what
I know. Anyways, pictures.
I did not have a chance to pull any pictures.
Oh, okay. Not a problem then.
Yeah, I did not. Between I'm still putting in the fine details on the setup and trying to get back into the swing of painting every day. I got into a commission project yesterday and got a lot of work on it done. But I literally didn't stop painting till I put in almost a 12-hour painting day yesterday. So
Holy moly, Batman!
yeah, so I didn't get a chance to get pictures. So
Well, it's okay.
be more pictures on Wednesday.
So you have still been busily finishing up the room and working.
This is the minor tweaks where I'll find something because when you paint, you like having a little bit of your comfort things around in certain areas. So there's a little tweaks here and there where it's like, okay, that's not going to work, and change that. Plus, I'm having a feud with my electrical system here.
Uh-oh.
Okay, well, you know how most apartment bedrooms, they have a switch at the door that activates an outlet somewhere. Hey, Larry.
Hey, Larry.
And I cannot find. I have checked every outlet in this room to see which one is activated by the switch.
Right.
And I cannot find it. However, previously, I know there is one because I've seen it work. So I have been scratching my head and literally tearing things out from under the table to plug stuff in and then get up and flip the switch, and I just can't figure it out. So,
well,
it's beyond me.
Is there a ceiling fan in
No
the room? There's no ceiling light or nothing?
No, and my previous roommate had the switch working for her table lamp.
No,
but I can't figure it out. So.
David's missed a few episodes, so he didn't move. David, he just his roommate moved out, and he's now has an official painting studio.
My studio used to be half of my master bedroom, right? And now that I rented a 2-bedroom apartment specifically to have one be a painting studio, but I made some changes before I moved. Brought in a roommate for various reasons. Since she has moved out and I have occupied this space in the same apartment, so my address, nothing has changed, but I've relocated all of my stuff into this room. I did go back and watch Wednesday's Wolf Den because there's a really nice video that kind of shows everything.
Jeff is being very adult now. He no longer has his toys, his figurines in his bedroom with him.
David, you absolutely correct. I have to check both outlets, and I cannot find it. So that's my project after the show today, is to begin that quest once again, because I'm probably missing something.
And then Larry's asking, what's that? I'm assuming Larry hasn't been doing much painting lately. Yeah. And then Raymond's saying, could it be the switch? I'm going to go with what you were just saying with David. Sometimes those outlets, the top one could be the switch and the bottom one could not be the switch.
Right. So I've got an outlet I got to change because there's some weirdness with it. So I'm going to play with that later today. So that's the plan.
Why would you change the outlet? Don't you just call a number?
Yeah, but that's my process for changing that outlet.
Oh, okay. Well, when you said that, you made it sound like you were actually going to play with electricity.
No.
Which scares me that you might play with electricity.
No, I'm actually quite good with electricity. So
I just know your luck, though. You're going to roll a 1 and you're going to get a perm.
Electricity is one of those things I don't play around with. I do it if I know how to do it. I've done it before. But when I was a kid, it scared the crap out of me because it's one of those things that can harm you that you can't see.
Right.
And so my dad, in his infinite wisdom, when he had his construction business, he built a very large building, kind of a warehouse to house all of this stuff. And because of my fear of electricity, he made me wire the whole thing.
Sure.
So I had to go.
Hey, the good thing about electricity, it only bites once.
Well, when I was 14 or 15, I saw a guy my dad did foundry work, and he put in furnaces and cubelos and all the stuff in a foundry that melts metal and all that stuff. So we used to have electricians come in and wire the furnaces. Sure. These furnaces that melt iron.
Right.
And I've seen a guy get electrocuted. So my fear of electricity is justified.
So Larry says he's been lifting recently. So I'm assuming weightlifting. Good for you, Larry. Working out is good. And he wants us to record the you playing with electricity, just in case. And good morning, Adam. Thank you for joining us, sir. So I've been just painting and working on models and playing. Actually, it's been a really good week for me. Good weekend.
Good. My phone. I'm sorry, my phone has gone absolutely crazy.
So like Thursday, hanging with the wife, my life. Oh, lifing. Did I read that wrong? I guess. I guess I did read that wrong. He's lifing.
Yeah, lifing, and his brothers told him some horrific electrician stories.
Oh God. Well, we've all heard them.
Yeah.
But I got Thursday just hanging at the home front with the wife. We didn't do a whole lot, but yesterday I got to play some Gaslands. You know how I feel about that.
Yeah.
Always. And speaking of Gaslands, I've been working on my 1/32 scale Gaslands project. Look at that! Look at that! Look at that!
I actually like that, but I didn't mind the red fenders.
Did it to me? It was just too much. It was very reminiscent of like a football or sports team jersey with the very contrasting colors. And you know me, I'm a very dull, lifeless soul.
I actually would buy that BS story you're throwing at me right now had I not seen you yesterday before your hair prep.
Yes, you got to see my hair at its worst when I woke up, and that was pretty rough.
Just remember, you called me. It's your fault.
Well, but I called you for good reasons.
Absolutely, great reason.
StreamYard is, if any of you guys are streaming or any of you are interested in streaming, StreamYard is just really starting to blow up and add a lot of cool new features. And this one that I discovered yesterday morning while setting up for today's show, now allows Mike before hair and makeup.
All I'm going to say, and my friendship with Mike may be destroyed after this, is before, because we jumped on StreamYard to do some testing on their new features, which are great, by the way. He had to go put a hat on.
Yes, it was that bad. But I did take it off while we were talking because you had to see the rat's nest that exists when I wake up in the morning.
So I find it ironic that you're talking about it's just too much for me with what I saw yesterday.
But anyway, StreamYard has opened up a new feature, and now one person can have an account and bring in a second person into that account as an admin. And now Jeff and I have complete control over the shows. So if Jeff is busy and he's like, Mike, can you set up the why'd you mute me?
Because I'm showing I can actually control the show.
That's so rude. But now Jeff can mute me and I can mute him. Where before, like Jeff had to set up the Wolf's separately and had to have his own account. He had to set it up. And then when the show came on, I had no controls in the thing. So I couldn't do anything with the comments. I couldn't do anything. I couldn't help at all. I was just a participant in the show. There was no way for me to do anything to help. Now we both have a way we can both work on the show together. We're actually kind of like a team now.
Right.
And also this opens up, like, now I can share the streams to IOG's Facebook page and all that because Jeff has access to the IOG page, which I don't.
Right.
And now he can share it. So, it could open up some more gremlins.
Well, I think a couple of the nice features where, like this, now we set the show up today under the old system, but because I have admin access to IOG,
and to
we can now set the show up so the pre-announcements for the show will be done. I won't have to do what I did this morning, which is jump on my phone and actually manually share. But the other feature, we've only had this happen once, knock on wood, where we got a guy making some really crappy comments in the comments, where beforehand, if me or Mike were running the show, we were the only person that could make any changes to that. So we'd have to interrupt the show to take care of it. Now, like if it's a wolf's den, Mike can monitor that, and if it happens, like I said, it's only ever happened once in our years of streaming. Or if I'm doing it, Mike can monitor. It gives a little bit more control over, a little bit more usefulness for us. So,
Well, it helps. It just makes it more of a partnership. Now, you and I have basic accounts, so we can only have one admin person brought into it.
right.
I would assume if we opened up to the professional account or the bigger accounts, that would allow us to have more admin people brought into the show. I don't know if it was the comment just wasn't meant for the show. It was
it wasn't anything that would set anybody's hair on fire, but it was just disruptive.
Yes,
I guess the best way to put it.
And we don't know who the person was. It was a random person that jumped on. So, again, that happened.
Big enough to attract any real people that want to disrupt the show.
Yeah, so, we're not that big. We don't have comments flying off the handle, but it just wasn't a comment that fit with the show, and it just wasn't necessary for the show. It wasn't anything rude or anything like that.
He was persistent.
Yes, Larry, we appreciate you apologizing for that. So anyway, so it's kind of cool that StreamYard is starting to become more stream friendly and breaking away from the Zoom concept. Zoom is fine for streaming, but it's not really. StreamYard is really starting to set itself up particularly for streaming, for game streaming, and more of that kind of stuff.
Yeah, Raymond, it wasn't any of our regular viewers. It was somebody we'd never heard of before that popped in, made some disruptive comments. None of them were actually startling. They were just disruptive. No. And it was just a bit of but it's only ever happened once. But quite frankly, that kind of behavior on the other streams is quite prominent.
Right. But now, and again, if we ever grew to that level, we would have to open up to that more advanced account. And we would have to have someone, I don't know, I don't want to say hire someone, but recruit someone to just sit there and monitor comments, which is what you do on your bigger streams. You have a production group. It's just you and I. We get, the most we might get is 20 people watching at any given time. Actually, can you see are you getting all the, so.
This is set up just as if I was running the show myself.
And that was another one of those challenges is when we were doing it under the old system, when Jeff or I when we're not both admins, is Jeff was limited in what he could even see. Like there were certain things he couldn't see. He was, like I said, just an active participant on the stream. Just like if we were to bring a guest like Raymond on, that's how he was treated, was just as a guest, not as an actual co-host or something. And I wonder, your two features for active roles are co-host or admin.
Yeah.
And I gave you admin under my account because I wanted you to be able to do everything and also put in all your content. I wonder if co-host doesn't allow you to do all those other things, but would let you kind of take an active role in the show.
Right.
So,
well, the other thing that we discovered this morning, at least I discovered this morning, was I'm waiting around for you to send me my invite, and we don't have to do that anymore. I can just literally, we both see the same shows, and I just jump in and enter studio as if I was actually running it. So it's just it's much streamlined and makes this a little easier for us to manage.
So if any of you are ever thinking about streaming with partners, StreamYard is not terribly expensive, $25 a month or something like that.
Yep.
They have grown tremendously from where they were when they started. You and I jumped on, it's called StreamYard, and that it's just a online streaming service. It works really good because the reason we went with it is because Jeff's in Maryland, I'm in Arizona. OSB or OBS just wasn't working because it was two different programs that had to be up, a lot of lag, a lot of weird stuff. You found this through Dave
Taylor from the Painting Happy Little Minis.
Yeah.
And I contacted him and said, hey, because they basically during COVID, they had to stop doing their normal way of streaming and went to, they were both at home.
Right.
And I said, what streaming service are you using? And he said StreamYard, and we've been using it ever since, and I think we love it.
And it was just real basic. You could put in a basic background and some banners and stuff like that, but it's grown. Now we got the picture feature, which I think is phenomenal. Yep. I think that's just a really nice little feature, especially when we're showing the photos, because we can show the photos so much bigger.
Right.
Because now I can just click this. Oh, I don't have a picture up. Never mind. I can't click anything. I got to have a picture up to click something.
Well, I'm actually turning on my second monitor.
Oh.
I thought we'll show my video in my studio again, if you don't mind.
Yeah. If you guys haven't, David, if you're still on, we'll just show the video now. But yeah, now they've opened up a picture-in-picture feature. You can share documents now. So if you wanted to do a RPG and you needed to share photos and or maps and things, you can easily share documents. It's not hard at all. I need to get the MW running again for my sanity. Be an option. Oh, Models Workshop. I forgot. It took me a second. It's been so long since I talked to Larry. I'm like, MW. I'm MW. He's got to get me running again. I'm running fine. That's what was running through my head.
Okay. Are you ready? Are you ready to see the show?
Yes, Larry. It just took me a second. I'm MW too. Yes, let's go. You got control, man.
This is a video of my new stuff.
Picture in picture.
There we go. With the overlay, it makes it a little difficult.
What I was going to do is I was going to take it off.
Well, you still can.
I got to find it.
Under brand.
Yeah.
There we go. Yeah, this is my new studio in my new room.
Look at that. But now we're picture in picture. We can talk over the video.
Yep.
So you can adjust the volume of your video, obviously, when you're making it or running it. And then you can come in and you can do all the changes to the features. So it's just a good little setup.
There we go.
And then I popped the thing in. Love the Hellcat. Yes, we all love the Hellcat. What's the Corsair?
That wasn't a Hellcat.
It was a Corsair.
It was a Corsair.
Well, it wasn't the Hellcat and the Corsair. They were like similar designs. Obviously, they had different features.
No similar design. Gull wing.
Right. Hellcat had.
I take my World War II aircraft seriously.
Now he's saying loves the Corsair.
Good man.
Get it right, or Jeff will get all gatekeepy on you.
Honestly, yeah. Well, the nice thing now, what makes that so cool is in my previous setup, I didn't have a build area.
Right.
See, now I have my Galactica Cylon Raider there. I've got my next kit, which is going to be my 32nd scale Corsair. I now have a place that here's where I paint. I can build an airbrush over there. It's just enough, and then I've got that gigantic closet that is full of stuff that no one will ever see.
And the serial killer that lives in there will stay in there until one day on a Halloween night when we're streaming, he will sneak out and slash you up.
I am a serial model collector.
Yes.
Because I have two closets.
Serial model collector.
It is compulsive. I mean, in my neighborhood as a kid, they would find just, busted up models.
David, I don't know if you should let Jeff know that you can print out a Corsair with a 3-foot wingspan for an RC plane.
I've had two of those.
Yeah, but he's
not 3D printed, of course.
Oh, you did the old lay the either tissue paper or the plastic paper or whatever.
I built one for myself back in the early 90s, and then I built one for a customer in the 90s as well. Yeah. They are a fun build, but for RC planes, you got to be a lot more precise, because if you're not right, it won't fly right. So
I can't fly planes. The first I flew one once. I went up, started a circle, and I want to go higher, and I flipped the wrong way and went right down into the ground. Which is
my first aircraft. My trainer, I literally put on the side of it "Post Hole Digger 1." and my second aircraft was called Post Hole Digger 2.
Yeah. And
the first one ended up in a pile.
And I chose never to do that again. I'm like, this is going to be, I'll go to RC cars all day long because I'm okay on the ground. I'm going to crash every plane I fly.
Well, the reason I had to stop was I flew. This was back in Ohio that I did this, and then I absolutely loved it. But it's expensive.
Yes,
it's massively expensive. But now they've got all the ready to fly stuff. You just got to basically buy them, put the wings on, and go fly.
Dude, mine was ready to fly too, and I still crashed it and broke it in half.
Well, that's because it's an aircraft, and they gravity comes into play at some point.
Yeah, gravity's just, and it works on cars because cars are already stuck to the ground from gravity. Only your driving ability makes them lose control of that gravity.
Right.
But yeah, so.
And David, if you do want to fly RC planes, there are plenty of really great fields in Arizona. Just contact the club that manages the field, and they will have a group of guys that are basically designated trainers. And you can actually, if you join the club, they will actually train you, which means when you build your aircraft, your trainer, who's a massively experienced pilot, will take its first flight to make sure it's flight worthy. And then he will basically show you and train you how to fly that plane, which can help protect your investment.
And don't they these days have they can override your controllers?
You basically what they do now is where beforehand you had to hand a controller back and forth, which especially if you're a new pilot and the guy you're like and you crash. Now they can link your controllers, and by the instructor flipping a switch, you can take over if you get in trouble. So it's really, really good.
Oh no.
I was in a field in Columbus. It's time for the old wolf story time.
Okay, everybody needs to gather around the fire.
I was in a field in Columbus watching a guy train, and this guy was kind of an obnoxious guy because I actually sold him the plane. But he's one of those guys that, spared no expense, money's no object kind of a guy, but he's obnoxious about it. And he had a brand new Camaro back when it was a hatchback, where now they all are hatchbacks. And he shows up to the field and he's being all cocky. And he was told by the instructor because he'd actually had a couple lessons. And you're told, do not fly perpendicular to the airfield. You always fly parallel. Okay. You don't fly it. The runway goes this way, you fly back and forth like this. You don't fly like this.
Right.
And he was all cocky, and no one really cared for him. And he's flying his aircraft, and he's showing off for his girlfriend, and he ends up flying perpendicular to the runway.
Mm-hmm.
And he's talking to his girlfriend, and he's not paying attention, and he's being a git. And I watched him literally fly this brand new aircraft into the hatchback of his Camaro. He had left it open, and it flew right in, and of course it disintegrated, but the engine was still running, so the prop was flying around the inside of the Camaro, just destroying upholstery. And I felt bad for him, but I did laugh my entire drive home.
What are you gonna do?
Yeah.
So, you ready to switch cameras?
That's actually a good point. If he crashes this 3D built aircraft, you can just print another one. Of
course, after a while, that's going to get a little old.
Yeah, it does. It does.
And that is why I would prefer just the old school ones with the little string and the little lever, and you just go in a circle.
Yeah, but if you don't make the circle big enough, you get dizzy and fall over.
That's okay. That's my speed. So Larry's talking. I guess Larry's got a car that's going 53. That's a heck of an art. That's probably a lipo battery with the cool brushless motor and stuff to get that speed.
Yeah, there's some serious.
I guess speed. Almost. Yeah, that's crazy. All right,
that's insane.
Let me switch. Well, when I was in RC cars, lipo batteries and the brushless motors were kind of just coming into vogue, I guess would be the best way to say it.
Well, real quick. I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm sorry. I interrupted.
Anyways, I was just getting into them and it was like, oh, these things are crazy fast. Anyways, that's it.
Yeah, they're insane. I used to run the races at the Hobbytown USA there and at the Black Canyon and Bell Road, And it was a nightmare. I was going to show I've decided December's coming up and it's Christmas, and I've decided two projects for December I'm going to work on, or try to work on. One of the two is my White Dwarf Christmas Mini from a couple years ago, which is falling apart because I've got it sticky tacked together. And this is what I'm probably going to be leaning to, my Hellboy.
Yeah, I'm kind of going with Hellboy.
Yeah, me too. And I got to say, upping the resolution on my camcorder to 720 really helped.
Yes. Hey, Victor's with us.
Victor!
And David 3D printed an RCF1 car. That's crazy.
Nice. All right, go ahead.
I was going to do an unboxing this morning.
Well, you knock yourself out and take full screen.
So, hold on. As you guys know, Thanksgiving Day, I'm just going to rewatch The Mandalorian season because there's nothing else really to do on Thanksgiving Day. We're not doing anything. No family's coming over. It's just my wife and I, so we're going to watch it. And I figured I would build a Mandalorian. And this is the Bandai silver-coated version of the Mandalorian, which Jeff and I were talking. It's the Berserker armor. So
it's called the Beskar armor.
Beskar. I'm going to call it Berserker.
You can if you want.
I can make up words.
That's perfectly fine.
Anyways, this is the better armor, but it's already got the silver plastic. I was just going to sit in front of the TV while we did stuff and putz around, but I wanted to unbox it because this is the higher grade version Bandai kit for this model.
Is it the perfect grade?
It doesn't say perfect grade anyplace, but it is the 1/12 scale plastic model kit, and it's got a lot of parts. So anywho, I wanted to just show you guys this is kind of what's out there. It's just something. I haven't opened this yet. I was kind of waiting for Saturday. Woo-hoo. So this is the kit. So the silver's it's not crappy silver. So that's the quality of the silver. That's not too bad. That could probably just be washed and be okay. So then we got our helmet. So we are going to have some decals or stickers. I guess these are just stickers. And then here's the brown stuff. So the brown's going to have to be painted. That brown is hideous. And it needs to be painted black. And then you got your cloth cape. So anyways, this is just something I'm going to kind of putz around with. I don't think this is a perfect grade. I think this is probably just regular action figure grade. I don't know.
I'm not sure if they do the real or perfect grade on the action figures or not. I've
never seen it. Where's the gun at? What one is the gun? What sprue is the gun on? Bet you it's probably on this. Yeah, so the gun's just black. Yeah, there's the gun. So it's just black. So yeah, it's going to need some painting. But anywho, I was just kind of curious what this was going to look like. It looks like a typical Bandai kit. It's got some damage on the, or no, that's damaged armor plates. I wonder if these are upgrade options.
I don't know.
I'm going to find out on Thanksgiving Day. So on Thanksgiving Day, you guys know what I'll be doing. I will be wonder if this silver is all the way through the plastic. Like the plastic is actually silver, not.
I would venture to guess it's not, but I could be wrong.
I don't know. I'm always curious. Bandai does some really cool stuff.
Just scrape on but I don't think they have chrome plastic yet.
But this plastic, it's some kind of, it's silver. It's like a gray plastic,
right,
with some sort of silver coating over it if it's paint or some other magicry that Bandai plays with. Because remember when they did the Darth Vader?
Yep.
And you could take the helmet off and you could have his face. That face was painted real nice.
Yeah, well, that's the multicolor injection plastic. I still have that kit.
Yeah.
I haven't finished it yet. Haven't started it. So
Yeah, but this has got like a gray. It's a gray plastic, and then they painted a silver over it, most likely. So it's probably just probably paint, which is cool because that means when I clip off the things and I wash it, I can dry brush over. It's like, I guess you could say pre-primed.
it's just coated with that.
So anywho, that's what I will be doing on Thanksgiving Day.
Woo! Sounds like a fun Thanksgiving day.
I think we're just going to watch the Mandalorian, which I think will be fun because you've got Book of Fett coming out in December.
Book of Fett.
Book of Fett. And to continue on with Thanksgiving, I'm working on my battle tank, and as I predicted, I dropped it. It fell off my desk and broke both the antennas.
Oh, nice.
So again, why do we have antennas in the future? I would think we would have better forms of communication with cellular technology, but for whatever reason, we're still going to use antennas on models. So now I got to fix that. So, yay. Yes, I was not too thrilled when that happened yesterday morning.
I bet not.
And, but I knew it was going to happen. I'm glad it happened now when I'm still working on the model. Then after I finished everything and started playing with it, and it fell off the table.
Right.
Because I am not the most ginger person when it comes to my models.
Yeah, I'm the same way.
I'm kind of rough with them.
I actually normally break stuff like that off during painting.
Well, and I think you might remember when I was painting, I left those off because I'm like, I'm going to get really rough with dry brushing and doing things on this that I didn't want to put the antennas on until I felt I was at a good spot, which I did. Right. Unfortunately, my schedule wasn't to knock it off my workbench and have it smash the antenna. And once you break them, they're worthless. You can't fix them.
Yeah, you can't. Yeah, they're hard to fix.
Well,
you can replace them with stretched sprue.
Yeah, but at that, I might as well just leave them short. And
if you look at car antennas now, they're that little fin on the back of the car.
Yeah. So. And why can't we do something like that?
I
think as short as they're going to be now, and they're going to be about this a little bit taller than the hatches.
Right.
I'll be all right. I'll be fine.
Well, I think the biggest reason you still see them on sci-fi model kits is aesthetics.
Yes.
They just give it a look. Cool.
It looks like, well, it fits the radio communication that we are accustomed to today.
Yep.
Because we still see antennas on tanks, still see CB antennas on vehicles. My truck still has an antenna. So anyway, I just file them flat and move about my day.
I'm just going through and started my edge highlighting, which is the monotonous part of a vehicle, any model, actually. Whoop, pull that off.
It's just a lot of work.
Yes. Oh, hello.
What'd you do?
Oh, I screwed up.
So that's done. And then I also have the little dude all ready to go. So I'm pretty much done. I'm not going to edge highlight this vehicle because I think I just like the way it looks.
I think it was fine.
Yeah. Not everything needs to be edge highlight. I was thinking about painting maybe the screen or the line on his beak. I guess it would be a beak on these guys. Because it's long like a beak. I was thinking about maybe doing like an orange stripe or something on it. Right. Just to represent him as like a tank driver or tank commander.
Yeah.
There's nothing, because they're robots, they don't really have any insignias marking who.
They're droids.
They're droids. Sorry, robots, droids.
Android would be very offended if you called him a robot.
Berserker, Berserker. It's all the same.
Beskar.
It's all the same.
It is. Just the letters. Letters
and words mean nothing. I don't know where I got Berserker. I wasn't reading carefully. So anywho, there is no way to really, and I don't think you really see anything like that in their movies.
I'm not sure
Like,
how. I know there's a way they differentiate rank. I'm not sure how they do that though.
Well, they are droids, so they probably just know. Like, it sends off a Bluetooth signal and goes, "Dude, I'm in charge. Shut up."
Well, if they're still using antennas, what are the odds they have Bluetooth?
That's true. I guess I wasn't clear on that. Yeah. So, anyways, I'm gonna paint the little stripe on his beak orange. It'll be a good splash of color. So I do like how the red contrast worked on that silver. It's not.
No, I like it.
It's a little spotty. Like, contrast can get a little spotty if you put it on flat surfaces.
Yeah.
I may hit it with a little bit of a regular red paint, but I'm going to do it after I seal coat it.
Right.
Just so that the paint attaches to the seal coat better, and just try to get some of the lines, like just around the edges. Just do a little dry brush. A little dry brush.
All
right, let's see how these new glasses work out for me. Seeing detail. Otherwise, I'm going to have to start. I wonder if I can get away from not using my goggles as much.
That would be. I would love if I could do that. I never used to have to use them, but now it does.
Well, we are getting old, Jeff.
Unfortunately, that is the case.
Every day you get just a little bit older. So anyway, I did finally see Jungle Cruise. So now that I got the right movie. Andy and I thought that movie was hilarious.
It is very funny. I love that movie.
What really sucked me into it, though, was the opening song.
Yeah.
Just the acoustic version of Metallica's Unforgiven.
Yeah.
I was just like, oh, this is really cool. They got, like, Disney's using Metallica in a movie to score a movie.
Well, somebody told me once, that's when you know you're old, is when music you grew up with becomes music or part of a soundtrack in a movie.
Then color me old.
I remember the day I jumped in an elevator and there was a AC/DC song playing, but it was only the instrumental. It wasn't their actual song.
Right.
And I'm like, okay, this is weird.
I'm officially old. Well, I think because Metallica did the orchestra thing,
right?
Back in the day, I forget what orchestra they had. I had the same reaction. That's awesome, David. I forget what, some famous orchestra, right. And put it into an album, and I think it was that version of it. I never picked up the album. Wasn't my thing, but it was cool to see it in a Disney movie. But all in all, the movie was phenomenal.
Like, yeah, no, I thought the movie was great.
Andy and I need to find new things to watch because we're just about done with Grey's Anatomy.
Right.
So now we don't have like a regular season.
Well, like Cowboy Bebop premiered on Netflix yesterday, which I watched the first 2 episodes of that, which were great.
What is Cowboy Bebop?
Cowboy Bebop is a live action show based on a piece of anime called Cowboy Bebop. And Cowboy Bebop, cowboy is a reference to bounty hunters in the future. And Bebop is the name of the ship they used to travel around the galaxy. But John Cho is in it from Harold and Kumar, the movie.
Yeah.
In it. And it's basically these 2 bounty hunters, well, actually 3 bounty hunters, because there's a female that joins them. Basically hunting bounties across the galaxy. And it's very martial arts. The first couple episodes were filmed very much like the anime. The actual like cinematography was very much laid out like the anime to a point. It was actually really, really good.
Raymond's saying I've got to watch it. And David saying it's a great show. Yeah, David, Wheel of Time. We didn't have a chance to watch it last night for the premiere or the first episode because my wife was working, and we both want to watch that. So I'm hoping.
I watched that too.
And like you don't have to spoilers, but was it good?
Here's all I'm going to say: if you play Beastmen in fantasy,
okay,
you'll love this movie. You'll love this show.
I never played Beastmen in fantasy, but I've always liked them.
Well, you'll like the show.
Okay, and then Raymond saying Hawkeye starts next week.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that too.
Yeah, the one thing we liked about Grey's Anatomy, not that like it's just a hospital movie.
Yeah.
But there were so many seasons that we hadn't watched. It's one of those things we could just put on when we had nothing to watch and watch like 3 or 4 episodes.
Yep.
And just kind of sit there and like just zone out and chit chat and talk, and then it's on. And when they were doing something, we could just, that was silly or stupid, we didn't have to watch that part and just kind of chatted. And it was like quality time while watching TV, I guess would be a good way to say it.
That's actually kind of cool.
You know, just chilling, not getting too carried away. But yeah, we do need to find new things to watch. So we're on the hunt. But I think Wheel of Time is going to be, I want to call it Wheel of Fortune, but you know, that's just old habits.
Raymond makes fun of his fiance because she watches Grey's Anatomy religiously.
Yeah, well, it had its moments. It's just a TV hospital drama. It's a soap opera.
I about once a month will watch a couple episodes of ER.
Oh yeah.
So
ER still good. All right, so now I'm just going to do some random dry brushing on some random stuff
around your room. Just going to run around and grab a model and start dry brushing?
We grab some stuff randomly and just start dry brushing it. You know, I'm practicing my dry brushing skills, you know?
I could use that. I need to practice.
Yeah. Nothing wrong with a little dry brushing now and then in your life.
Yeah, that upgrade on the camera, as far as you can actually see the line highlighting now where you couldn't before.
Do you have to change that every time is the question?
I don't think so.
Where was that at again?
Go to your camera mic, go to show advanced options.
That's it. Show advanced options.
I'm still on the 720.
Yeah, so am I. No, I was just double checking.
Yep, nope.
Raymond, she's a nurse. She can relax more. That's why Andy and I watch the show, because Andy's also a nurse. And normally, and then this is one of those things you could probably understand, Jeff. When she watches hospital shows, she gets really mad and starts yelling at the TV because it's all wrong and fake. Yeah. And she's always mentioned that in Grey's Anatomy, they must have actually had professionals on the show telling them how to do things, because it's not as bad as other shows.
Yeah, well, my daughter just interviewed for a full-time. She's working full-time as the assistant to the nurse in the school system here.
Right.
But they have just posted some full-time positions that are, because her position is a temporary thing for during the pandemic, but she just applied for a full-time position, and she was going to go to school to be an RN, but that's with a family and being a single mom, that kind of thing, it's getting difficult. So she's going to go get her LPN, and then from there get her RN.
There you go.
So she's
a good path to take.
Yeah, she's all excited. She's finally, things are starting to come together for her a little bit. So,
but she'll also be under, I don't know how Maryland works, but she'll be under most likely the state retirement system.
Yeah, well, yeah, and that all, because she'll be in the school system, so that'll actually give her because it's more of a it's a public school system. So
David's got to go. Bye, David.
Bye, David. See you later, buddy.
Thanks for hanging with us, buddy. Yeah, but that's a good thing for her.
Yeah, I'm excited for her.
Because if she sticks with it, she'll have the thing of depending on how you do your retirement, you're not going to get a crazy state retirement, but you're going to get a good state retirement.
Well, when I actually, there is no love lost between my former mother-in-law and I, but she's a nurse.
You mean she doesn't send you Christmas cards anymore?
Not even, no, she never did, but then that's fine. However, her and my father-in-law, who I love to death, retired to an RV.
Right.
Well, he had retired, but she had not retired yet. And because RNs are usually in such hot demand at hospitals, she literally had hospitals around the country that she was registered to pull hours from.
Yep.
And they understood that she traveled the country. So whatever part of the country she was in, she could actually work in that hospital for 3 or 4 weeks.
Yep.
And draw a salary and then move on to the next.
Yeah, she became a traveler.
Yeah, it was actually really kind of an interesting way to retire, or for my father-in-law, because then they traveled in the RV and they got to see a lot of different areas of the country, and my mother-in-law was still able to draw a salary, and
he stayed home and he kept the RV going, and she went to work.
Yeah, I thought that was not a bad way to retire.
No, traveling, and the traveler nurses get paid more. They get paid significantly more.
Yeah.
Because you're filling in when a hospital's short.
Yeah.
So, and you're not getting benefits or any of the perks. You're just working an hour.
Yeah, and because of my the retirement from because my father-in-law was a fireman.
Oh yeah, so he's got the first responders retirement.
Yeah, so he was doing. I mean, and he'd been a fireman for 20 some years. As a matter of fact, he was an EMT or paramedic, actually.
Sweet. So he's got the good old retirement. I don't get that retirement.
Yeah.
All right, look at that. That silver actually goes great on top of that dark metal.
Oh, that does look good. That's looking really nice.
So I think we're going to have this bad boy done.
I may not make the end of November deadline. I don't know. But we're going to try.
I'm also going to try something a little bit risky. So I did the binoculars in black. I think I'm just going to try to hit some of this bright silver just to pull out some of the details of the binoculars and not change the color too much.
All right. That sounds like fun.
Just so it's almost like hitting it with white, but it's not white. It's silver. It's just a bright silver. That worked.
I have to comment. My new arrangement for painting is so much more comfortable.
Yeah.
Because I've got a lot more table space for my arms, and I can actually lean into the table. I'm not hitting my glasses or my goggles. I'm not wearing my goggles right now, my mags, but I don't have to worry about hitting my headlamps. So it's just a much nicer setup. I'm very happy.
Very happy. Dude, I think this bad boy's done. I got to paint the rim of the base next, though.
I gotta say, I love the black smoke trails on the front.
Yeah, I redid them, by the way. Let me take a look. Not too bad. So, I just went in, and because what I did is I did them first, and then I went over them with a lighter shade of the burnt to make it just look like you can see the different shades.
Right.
Kind of there. I don't know if it's showing up on camera well.
No, I can see
what
it.
I did is I went back in with the black and just kind of hit the edges a little bit with the airbrush.
Right.
Just to darken it, like it's dark here and it fades a little bit better.
That's on the leading edge there.
Yeah. So you're going to be doing that with your Cylon Raider.
I am, actually. I absolutely am.
Because the Cylon Raider has those guns up front, which is a good way to do that.
Yep.
The engines are in the back, so. But you're putting a light kit in that one, right?
Not in the Cylon. I'm doing the photo etched louvers on the front.
Okay, you're not doing the okay.
No,
They make a light kit, but it's not really an exciting light kit. It's just the backlights.
My first light kit I'm going to be doing a light and sound is my B9 robot from Lost in Space.
Well, what about are you still working on that one?
Well, the B9?
Yeah, because you're also doing the light kit in that that Star
Enterprise?
Trek.
Oh,
Enterprise.
here's the difference between the two. The light kit for the Enterprise is already pre-done. I get pre-done circuit boards. The lights are already attached. All I got to do is pretty much plug them in.
Right.
The B9, I have to actually solder the light leads onto the circuit boards, and I've got to do all the wiring myself. The kit's actually fairly basic, so there's a lot of work I have to do that I've never done before.
Got it.
As far as lighting goes, and so
a little bit more work on your end.
Yeah, well, like I said, the Enterprise kit's really easy. I just literally I put a plug into the circuit board. It's kind of like putting memory into a computer. You just put it in a slot and go.
Right.
Where the kit that came with the B9, I've got to actually do some soldering. I got to sometimes make the mounts to hold them in place. So,
all right. All right, let's waste some time and paint the black rim. I could go Lenny on it and go Goblin Green.
I'm going Goblin Green.
I'm going to go paint it Goblin Green.
The problem with this line highlighting, the edge highlighting that I'm doing here on this kit, is I'm using Fenris Gray, which is a very subtle edge highlight. Right. And then after that, I'm doing the complete edge with this. But after I'm done with that, I'm going to go back with Blue Horror, which is a much lighter color, and do a highlight on the edge highlighting.
Right.
To kind of give it some dimension.
So you're highlighting your highlights?
Pretty much.
All right. Isn't that what? Well, that's the whole idea with edge highlighting is you start with a base color.
Yep.
And then you go in with the lighter color to hit like the corners and the.
Yeah.
I watched a guy on stream talk about that one day. I wonder who that was. Who was I watching?
I don't know.
Oh yeah, it was you.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, we did the edge highlighting one.
Oh, that's right, we did.
And the biggest thing we took away from that, I think everyone took away from that, is the cleanup phase.
Yeah, you got to go back.
When you really introduced the cleanup phase to everybody.
If you have the level of brush control I have, because there's times I don't have the brush control I wish that other people do. Holy cow, my phone is just vibrating its rear end off.
What's going on?
I don't know. Something's happened. So the cleanup phase is essential.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing that we sometimes are the illusion that we sometimes see on YouTube and pre-done videos is they kind of make themselves come out like, look, I got it in one try.
Yeah.
And some probably do. I'm not going to deny it. That's where streaming is like.
There are definitely guys out there that can do it. I am not one of them.
Well, everybody makes mistakes. Like painting the fenders of their yellow car red.
Well, I disagree. I thought that looked good.
Yeah, it was just too much for me. Too Christmassy. Like, the thing with Christmas, the reason is green and red just aren't the colors. They're just not meant to go together. And that's why some people just despise Christmas and other people love it because it works for them.
Yeah. It's
just taste. That's all it is. My taste palette said, ooh, yucky. Looks like a football team.
Mikey, no likey.
Mikey, no likey. It's probably because I could actually see. Like, oh, these glasses make that look like crap.
I had to stop. I was doing a very fine edge using the tip of the brush, and you said that I had to yank my hand away before I had to spread it across the screen.
That was so wrong.
Oh, it was awesome. It was awesome. Can't wait to start this guy.
What's that? Oh, that's Wilhelm
Chaney.
Wilhelm Chaney. Does he scream? Or does he howl?
Not right now, but as soon as I figure out how to get a sound card hooked up so I can just hit a button and make that sound. So,
well, you're just going to have it on your phone and just play it.
I didn't tell you, I had a bit of a blow up with my Blood Bowl league that I'm running for fun at Battlefront Miniatures.
How you mean Blood Bowl is controversial?
Well, no, it's not Blood Bowl at all. I was having a conversation with one of the guys there about how the league was going to run, because I was going to do a 7-week league, which basically means it's 8 players. Everybody plays everybody once, and then you either go into the finals or we just say, hey, we have a league. Here's our league winner.
Right.
And the guy that I was talking to suggested, hey, could we go 14 weeks? That way we each get to play 2 games. We play each other twice. And I'm like, yeah, that's not a bad idea. And then they've taken fouling, and it's still in the game. But you used to get, if you caused a casualty during fouling, you got star player points for the casualty. They don't do that anymore.
Really?
So he suggested a house rule, because this guy fouls a lot. He said, how about considering a house rule that you get star player points for the casualty caused by fouling? And I said, yeah, it's worth it. We can. And I said, well, let's just toss it up to the guys and see what they think.
Okay.
And so I basically said, hey guys, in the subject, I said, I need your opinion. What I was asking for was their physical vote.
Right.
But in that, I walk through how I score a Blood Bowl league. And I score it differently than the rule book says.
Okay.
Because I've been doing it since the early 90s. I found what works for me and what is easy for me to manage, and it works really, really well. But one of the participants in the league decided to criticize how I was doing it, and a big debate breaks out, which you know how I am about managing by committee.
Doesn't work.
It never does. So basically there was lines drawn, and the guy that instigated the whole conversation basically said, well, he should, they're in the rules, they're easy to do, we can blah blah blah. And I said, yeah, so then run it. You're more than welcome. You run the league. You just take over. And that's where it ended.
Oh, no.
And I'm not upset in any way, shape, or form, because it's to me not that big of a deal. But I'm like, no, if you want to run it that way, I already have my spreadsheet set up from running Blood Bowl since the Blood Bowl league since the early 90s. I've got all my sheets set up. I don't really feel like changing them. And I'm like,
a fun league. It's like there's no prize support. There's nothing here. We're just having fun.
The leagues I run at IOG, I use this same system. We give away prizes and no one's made a complaint.
Right.
But he decided on this one. This was the hill he wanted to die on. Mm-hmm. And so my last email was, fine, no worries. We can go that route. You just run it. There you go. See ya. And it's like I just sometimes the arguments people are willing to take to the mat just make me crazy.
Well, and this is like, because you kind of came into this group as the legend Jeff Smith.
A bit.
Because it happened after you did the Gen Con event.
Yep. I ran Battlefront Miniatures US for 7 years.
Right. And a lot of the people that are there still know you.
Well, the guy that now runs the team is the guy that I trained and worked with me and worked for me at Games Workshop and then at Battlefront. And so he and I have a long history.
And then there was, and he knows you and knows how you're going to respond to certain things.
Yep.
And now this new guy, this new young whippersnapper, got a taste of Jeff.
Well, here's the funny part. He's actually not a new guy. I've known this guy. He basically was one of the guys that interviewed me when I was hired at Games Workshop.
Oh, so he's a friend, kind of.
He's an acquaintance. I mean, and he's not a bad guy, but he's just decided that he's going to die on this hill of how I'm scoring. And what really I find humorous, he didn't want to play in the league in the first place.
Oh,
and I kind of coaxed him into it. I said, "Oh, come on, it'll be fun." Because literally, this was a way for me to have a gaming group I could go play Blood Bowl at. That was really that was my only motivating factor, was I could go play Blood Bowl in this league, and I would just run it.
Good morning, Joe. How are you? All right. Base is drying, so yay.
Yay.
I did the orange. Let me zoom in.
Take full screen, buddy.
No, that's fine, dude. So I did his little face pieces in orange. Just to kind of say, hey, I'm a tank commander. I am the tank commander.
Here's one of the great things about StreamYard teams.
That's awesome. Hey, Jeff, did you get one of the land speeders yet? The Primaris land speeder? Did you get one of the land speeders?
I have not, sir. I'm right now trying to get the guys, because IOG's been really busy, a product coming in, everything else. I got a hold pile there now. I'm trying to get them to give me a price on it so I can send the money, get it paid for. And I have not kept up. But are the Primaris land speeders pretty cool? I haven't even seen them yet, to tell you the truth. I have to say, when I'm actually online, the only thing I look for from GW or Forge World is the new Jagatai Khan Forge World kit, because that's my last Primarch, and I'll have the entire collection.
I got to see Darren, so visually they look amazing.
What does?
Raymond just said visually they look amazing.
Awesome.
And in typical GW fashion, they'll release them. They will be amazing. Everybody will go out and buy 3. Then they'll FAQ the rules, and then no one will want them.
Well, now here's the thing. Why are they going to FAQ the rules?
I don't know. I was just talking about the orcs and the way they did the orc.
And the reason they did that was because in competitive play, a rule that was meant to be a one way ends up being, used a different way that they weren't expecting.
Yes.
So
we got to change the rules. Change the rules. Or make them different, or do whatever they do. Yesterday I got to see Darren's new storage solution.
Oh yeah, I bet that was fun. I bet that's kind of cool.
Well, because I walk into the shop and like the discount table stacked high.
Yep.
And then he's pointing me to another one. He's like, "Yeah, I'm working on that stuff next." I'm like, "Holy crap!" That's all. Some of this stuff is really new gaming stuff. It's not all old, out of date stuff. Some of it's just he had too much of it, because just like anything, he was like, "This game's going to be the latest and greatest, hottest, coolest thing," and just didn't sell.
Ends up not being the case.
Yeah. So he's just got some games that that are newer that people may be interested in. I'm promoting the discount rack. So go into the shop today if you're looking board games. Not a lot. There's some miniature stuff, but not a lot. Some of the Frostgrave stuff, and some of the random miniatures where I think he's just trying to clear out some shelf space. And
well, Darren always went really heavy on the board games because and rightfully so, because there are so many board games out there.
Right. And you never know which one's going to be the latest and greatest.
Right. Yep.
But then he took me into the back room. And
you bad?
Showed me. Sounds bad, doesn't it?
It does.
And yes, Joe, he's getting rid of all of his overstock, which is a good thing, especially. But the fact that he has overstock is also a good thing, because with everything that's going on right now, at least he has overstock to fall back on.
Yep.
Like some companies, some of the people that just keep what they have on the shelves, they have nothing left on the shelves because people bought it all up. So anyways, go to the shop, if you're looking, he's got a lot of stuff out. So go to the shop, check it out. Mike, do you
Absolutely.
think an army should be able to actually win 20 minutes into one? Raymond, I don't think an army should be able to win in 20 minutes. And I agree. And I understand why they changed the rules. I can still be bitter about it, but I understand why they changed the rules. And I could care less. I don't play enough 40K competitively or casually to have an opinion.
Your opinion was based on the fact that Orc got nerfed.
My opinion was orcs deserve more love. That is all. I am just trying to spread the love for the green.
And I have to agree with you, because quite frankly, of all the armies in 40K, orcs have always been the one that gets neglected.
Yes. And they finally rose to the top of the food chain. They're
nerfed.
They were stomping the competitive scene. They were doing they were on top of the world. The greenskins were taking over the 40K universe, and they were dominating. And then we had to stomp them. And these rules are only meant for tournament. Yeah, I know, Raymond. I'm just having some fun with it. I am not upset at all, buddy. I just orcs were finally in the rightful place at the throne. Gilman at their feet. I thought it was very fitting, and we apparently the secret society of the 40K universe said we can't have this, and they just changed the rules. But yes, I understand the orcs were being used and abused. No different than when everyone was making the Luda list and had like hordes of Ludas running around. But it was just fun to me.
Any unregulated rule of any kind in gaming or in life, humans will abuse it.
Exactly. Victor, any new stuff on discounts since Thursday? I don't know what Darren had pulled out on Thursday, so I couldn't answer that question. I just know he had the main table that had the discount stuff was packed. It was full. So I don't know what it looked like on Thursday. And then he had another table where he had a bunch of stuff stacked on it that he said he was going through, but he had not gone through it yet. So I don't know if that got done yesterday. So I would kindly and gently go in and talk to Darren. I would not go in demanding. I want to know. I would just go, hey, need some help with that? And see what he says.
Bum, bum, bum.
And he also told me he's changing the hours. I guess the store is going to start staying open later again.
Yep, they're going back to midnight on Fridays, I think.
And 10 o'clock during weekdays?
Yep.
Or something like that. Yeah.
Yep,
so I guess they got some new people in, and things are moving in the right direction for the company, because
it's really good.
Because people want to be able to play their games. I know I do. What is that? Looks like I made a mess. Correct. Joe, I don't know if you're correct is based on the hours or the discount rack. So, but either way, correct.
He could be siding with you on your orc opinion.
I agree with that. I wish Raymond would side with me on the hours.
Okay, I don't think Raymond's picked a side. I think Raymond's just playing advocate.
I know. Pick a side, Raymond.
He's trying to explain, here's the premise behind the change.
I get it. Orcs start winning, we nerf them. That's the premise.
Victor bought $200 from the table last week.
Oh my gosh. Oh, he's getting ready for he's saying prize support, so he's getting ready for Strategicon in LA. Oh, Raymond is Switzerland. Okay, Raymond, we'll let you be at Switzerland then. You got a Swiss Army knife? Is that what you go to? No, I take it back.
There we go.
Wait till they nerf the Necrons when they get something cool and start dominating the tournament scene. And like, well, we can't have this. We need the blue people to win. The Smurfs need to win. The Smurfs need to run the world. So
Well, there's dominating the tournament scene, and then there's we won the Super Bowl because everyone's on steroids.
Potato. You're just being nitpicky now.
I know. I'm sorry. I'm just
you and your nitpickiness.
Maybe.
Anyways,
Wait a minute. I know what we can do. We can do the same thing with this that they did with Babe Ruth's rule. We'll just put an asterisk next to it in the record books.
There you go. Well, there's a lot of that in the ITC right now, simply because of the current pandemic situation. Like there was a lot of asterisks next to, like, well, this was during COVID, so.
Well, fair enough.
Yeah, well, it had to happen. Like,
look, I love how edge highlighting brings out a vehicle.
It brings out the beauty in the eyes.
You see the edge highlighting, then you see the little darkness in the recess, and the airbrushing there. I like it.
See, even Raymond thinks the Necrons need a boost. And he is correct. Necrons need a boost, a power boost. They need a lipo battery put in them.
Can they not reach the high shelf? Do they need a booster?
No. They need legs that extend up so they can get the stuff on the top shelf, because they need a boost. Anyways, buddy, I'm done. I think my ship is done.
You think your ship has sailed?
I think my Thanksgiving tank is done. This is good enough for the Army for Star Wars Legion. I don't know if I'm ever going to put this on the table as a playable thing, but it will always be. It might just be a decorational piece that I put on the table as just like, it could be, hey, my tank's broken down. My guy's got to get it, like an objective marker.
There you go.
Jeff made the boost joke faster than I could type it. That's hilarious. Because it's an expensive vehicle and it's pretty damaging. And I don't play Legion on any kind of competitive level. Like, I play very casual. My buddy Jason and I just kind of putz around, and we like push stuff around the table, and we say we're playing a game, but we're really just making fun of each other.
Oh, there you go.
You know how that is.
Anyway, all right. Well, I've got pretty much the top portion here, for the most part, edge highlighted. I don't know if you can see it very well or not.
You could take full screen.
I could actually. I think I'm gonna. But yeah, there it is. You can see it pretty well.
Yeah.
I got some cleanup to do, like on here. I got to just kind of trim that up a little bit.
Clean up face. Clean up on right front fender.
But I like the way, like I said, I got my recesses down here are dark. They got the highlight there now. And then I'm going to go through on the corners of all these edge highlights and add like almost a really, really light blue to that to kind of bring out a little bit more. So, and
that's kind of where you get that. That's like to represent the light gleaming from the corners.
Yep.
And you see that a lot on cars. If you're out looking at a car in the sunlight, you see the corners get this white, and that's all you're trying to represent.
You know what I like best? Also, another thing I like about this new setup.
What's that?
Is I have these giant windows that aren't in my bedroom, because there's outside of my apartment complex. There's a gigantic security light on the side of the building.
Uh-huh.
And so I had to put blackout curtains in my room so I could sleep at night.
Right.
Well, that meant when I did the show, from there, my room was completely dark, and I had to have low light on the webcam. Now I got these two gigantic windows, plenty of light in the room.
Yep.
So,
dude, it looks a lot like my room looks kind of dark and dingy right now. Same because it's wintertime and I don't have the sun doing the halo effect like it usually does.
Normally you got this beam of light hitting you as if you're,
It's because I've got such a bright and shining personality.
I thought it was because of the stash.
Well, the stash is part of it, but it is my charming person, my bright and shining personality. I am going for the broom mustache now.
I can see that.
I'm letting it just grow, and then I'm just going to cut it straight across, and I'm going to have the broom mustache. Now, yesterday I ate at Fuddruckers, and I felt I love Fuddruckers, and I felt all of the negative effects of such a big mustache, trying to shove that half-pound turkey burger into my mouth with the ketchup and all the stuff, and it was all in my mustache. I was eating little mustache hairs, and it was glorious. But it was all the negative effects.
That's why I do not have the ability to grow a mustache of such prominence. But I still keep, even mine, I keep trimmed about a 16th of an inch above my lip line, so I don't experience that.
No, I'm going full. Broom brush broom
No, you
push
can't do
broom.
that.
I don't know what I would be calling it, but as soon as it gets a little bit longer, then I'm just going to go straight across, and it's just going to be this big monstrosity above my lip.
You're going for the Wilfred Brimley mustache.
I'm going for something. I don't quite know what I'm going for yet, but I'm going for it because that's what I do. As you guys know, I live on the edge. So, anyways, so we are going to do Wednesday then, right? Because we already scheduled the show.
Wednesday night, yep.
Okay.
Yep.
And then we got Thanksgiving on Thursday, and I will be building a Mandalorian. So
I will still be working on this. I'm going to try to work on it some today to get it close, because I want to get it done by the end of November, so then I can start my Christmas project.
Yeah, I don't have a Christmas project picked out, but I am going to try to finish up any loose end projects that I had started this year.
Well, also part of your December, as you often do, that I find amazing, is that you have to work out your 2022 project schedule.
Yeah, and it never, like 2021, I was supposed to get Starship Troopers done, and that never happened.
Did you even actually crack a box to look at?
Yeah, I actually built one. I did one miniature too.
Oh, cool.
And I did them on.
Raymond says I may or may not be watching along on Wednesday, depending on when I start my new schedule and its rotation. Well, Raymond, I got to say, I'm really happy you got a job that I think is going to be better for your mental health.
Yes, and you watch us whenever you're available, buddy. We love and support everybody.
And Joe, just to put your mind at ease, I did not get the picture. I know you posted some new pics. They look pretty cool. We did not do pictures today because I was busy putting in this little tweaks on my room and never got it done. And I spent 12 hours painting, working on a commission. So try to get back up. So
Wednesday night. Also on the Facebook page, you guys, I posted something up this morning about the Arizona Game Fair coming up in March, the 10th through the 13th. I know Raymond's going to be there because they're going to have the Scorched Earth tournament taking place. So if you guys want to see a well-organized, well-run tournament, I listened to the Exterminatus podcast where they did the recap on the Ocotillo Onslaught. Right. And Eric was very hard on himself about certain aspects, and he is going to correct those things. Mainly, he had some issues with his terrain that he actually cleared out some of his old terrain, is making new terrain just for the tournament.
Right.
And is really going to be pushing it hard to, again, Scorched Earth is Arizona's premier 40K tournament. Yeah. And they're also going to be teaming up. I don't know who's running the Age of Sigmar side of things. I don't know who the person is. Like I've never met him or know who that is. It used to be Thomas and another guy named Dr. Mike.
Right.
I don't think he's doing his. I think he's tuned out of the Age of Sigmar realm, and someone else picked up the mantle. But I could be wrong.
Right.
So, anyways, but definitely. If you're local, which I think everybody that has been commenting has been local, Arizona Game Fair, not a bad little thing. Board game, RPGs, miniature stuff.
Yep.
I will be there. I haven't decided how many days I'm going to be there. Like, I may just go out on Friday. I may go Friday, Saturday. I haven't decided yet.
I am considering, because I'm scheduled to come out on March 17th.
Okay.
And I'll be there for the Model Expo on the 19th and the next 40K OG on the 26th. I am considering coming out on the 10th for Arizona Fair. But I'm not sure yet, because that will mean I'll be traveling from the 10th until probably the 5th of April, because the week I'm there in Phoenix on the 27th or 28th, Darren and I are going to take both his vehicles back to Montana, and I'll be there for a week. flying back around, in the beginning of April. So I'm not sure. That would mean I'm gone for, let's see, 1, 2, 3, almost 4 weeks. So,
Yeah, that's a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know yet.
Your cat might forget who you are.
But he doesn't care who I am.
No, you're the guy that feeds them, but
as long as, well, my daughter lives 2 doors down, so she can take care of that part.
right.
But as long as I feed him, change his cat box, and pet him when he demands it, he and I are good. Anyone can fill those roles as far as he's concerned.
Ray, because they had the AOS thing over at the Alcatel Onslaught also, and it was someone named James. So I don't know who he is, but if he's good enough to be in the same league with Raymond and Eric is with what they're doing, I'm sure he's a good guy. And so anyways, Arizona Game Fair, it's a local convention. I don't know what to expect from it. Like I expect Adepticon's going to be a shitstorm of people going because they haven't gone. There hasn't been one in 2 years. I expect the LVO to be the same thing. And I would like to think that the Arizona Game Fair is going to be well attended. Tickets aren't terribly expensive. Like a one-day ticket, like $35-$40 for a one-day ticket, but you have access to everything. The only thing you have to buy additional tickets for, obviously, is for the tournaments, like Scorched Earth. But I think I was looking at it, it was like $5.
Yeah, it's not bad.
It wasn't terrible. So anyways, you guys, it's on the Facebook page. There's a link to the Arizona Game Fair talking about it. If you guys just want to check it out, it's always good to support. If we continue to support these little local conventions, again, Arizona is a destination spot. People love to come to Arizona, especially in March. Our weather is amazing.
It's great.
And I'm one of those guys. I'm like, we could have an Adepticon setting, like that kind of a massive tournament or scene in Arizona. We have the space for it. The Phoenix Gaming Convention is the ideal space. They hold Comic-Con there, which is now Fan Fusion. And that could be an amazing gaming convention hall. And we could get those numbers like they get at Adepticon. And Adepticon has its issues. I don't know if you keep up on Adepticon or not. They're at 2 hotels now.
Yeah.
Think about the logistics as a participant. Like, I'm going to go fly to Chicago and spend a fortune flying to Chicago. And now I'm going to 2 different hotels and like, what's at what hotel and where do I want to like really bad. It's kind of like LVO. When LVO was at Bally's, it was on 3 different parts of the hotel.
That was the problem with the Bally's location is there was no stuff big enough for put everything in one place. You had to travel all over the hotel.
Right. And
that was the problem with the StoreCon at Lancaster. There was 16 different, something like 16 different buildings you'd have to go to.
Yeah, and it's not conducive. And I think Arizona has it. Like,
yeah,
we have the Phoenix, we have the Phoenix Convention Center, which is massive. Like, it's just massive. I don't know how much it costs to rent the Phoenix Gaming Convention Center. I'm sure it's not cheap.
Their rates are like anything. They depend on the time of the year.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
But March in Arizona, we're not cold anymore. Like for us, we're not cold anymore. And we get a little bit warm in the afternoon, but it's still, the weather is still.
Yeah, you're not in the let's fry eggs on the sidewalk hot.
Right. Yeah. And it is the perfect time of the year for a convention. So anyways, check it out, you guys. So that's all I had. I'm off my soapbox.
It made sense. So, and again, I just wanted to, like I said, I'll be out that week after that. So don't forget, we'll have the Model Expo. If you're looking at wanting to do a model project, get started now, because March 19th is it's going to fly up. Imperial Outpost Games Model Expo, a full-fledged model contest, model, miniature, you name it. And I'll start getting stuff out probably right after the first of the year, promoting that. And then I'll be out there. Then the next OG is the weekend after.
So that's going to be my month of March. I got the Phoenix Gaming Convention. Then I'm going to go hang out with you at the Model Expo.
Yep.
And then hang out with you at the 40K.
Yep.
Or the OG.
The OG.
So I'll be spending 3 weeks just doing gaming stuff. 3 weeks. My God.
It'll be awesome.
I'll be around people.
Showing off your hairdo and your stash and your model.
Hopefully by March, dude, I have the ponytail going.
Oh, that'll be insane. Some people might call it a midlife crisis. I wouldn't, but some people could.
I would call it a midlife crisis, or I am not ashamed to call it what it is.
I had mine. I know what they're like, but I'm now in the God, I'm old crisis. It's like,
See, but I can sit here and calmly and rationally say I'm 51 years old and I can still grow my hair.
there you go. Well, that's how I usually end any argument, which I don't argue with Darren very often. But when we do get an argument, I end it like this.
Anyways, all right, everybody. Thank you all for hanging out with us. If you don't, we understand that Wednesday, a lot of people may be preparing for family stuff, but have a happy Thanksgiving with your family, with your friends. Be safe, be grateful they're still in your life, and that you get to spend time with your family and friends. Absolutely. And if you get a little time to hobby, by all means, enjoy it. Thanksgiving Day is always a rough. I will be hobbying all day because we have no family coming over. So, so thank you all very much. You all have a great day. Anything before we cut out?
Nope. I'll just be like I said, Wednesday night we'll be there for Thanksgiving Eve so I can work more on this model more than anything else.
Yeah.
And but yeah, we'll talk more then.
Bye everybody. Have a great weekend.
See you guys.